What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader, and I've got some more recent sales from the incredible jackpot haul that Chris W. landed that we talked about in a live stream. All of these sales are on Rogue 5 Toys, and there's still more to come as I make this video. Stuff is getting listed left and right. He's still got mint on cards. He's got more Lily Lettys, some play sets, and some vehicles. Just some incredible stuff for sale, including some another AFA graded Imperial shuttle. He's got the Ewok village. I mean, it's just an incredible haul. And so as part of just kind of showing you the prices for some of the stuff that's being claimed, I thought I would do another video and just kind of go through stuff. We got some mint on cards, some loose graded, some play sets, vehicles, all over the map, diecast. So without further ado, let's take a look. So the first one we've got is a 65 back C Zuckuss. AFA 85 clear blister. How beautiful is that? Target price sticker. This one was a punched example, and this one did sell for $460. It was claimed almost immediately. Congratulations to the buyer on that one. Next up was a gorgeous example of EV99 on the Power of the Force card. Just very light to moderate yellowing. No cracks in the blister. Absolutely stunning card back, unpunched. Really great shape, and that one sold for $600. I thought that was a really good deal, just given on eBay, these can go for 15 to 20% higher very easily. Next up is a Tri-Logo Han Carbonite. This one had a couple of creases here and there. I would guess this will probably grade a 75 plus or so, but it was unpunched. Beautiful crystal clear blister with no cracks, which is a common problem for the Han Carbonite. The hard edges of that carbonite block can sometimes dig into the blister and cause cracking, but this one was a pretty beautiful example. Again, probably 75 plus or so. And that one was claimed immediately as well for $800. Congrats to the buyer on that one. I know the buyer on that one. Congrats. That was a really good pickup there. Next up was a beautiful Last 17 R2-D2 pop-up saber on the Palatoy Tri-Logo card back. And it did have some wear around the hang tab there, but he listed this one, Chris listed this one, I thought, for a very fair price. $1,100 took this one home. I would wager that if you tried to buy this on eBay, you would have spent closer to $1,600 or $1,700. I mean, near mint plus loose graded R2-D2 pop-ups can set you back, what, $800 or so, sometimes even higher. So to get one mint on card in such great condition, this is probably like a 75 grade card back. But to get it for $1,100, I thought that was a very fair price from Chris on that one. Next up is a very rare Returno card back for the Lily Letty Yoda. And this has got the correct Returno Lily Letty Yoda to go along with it. So this is a perfect example of an item that you would send into CAS, and they would loose grade the figure in front of the card back. But this card back in particular is extremely rare. I've only seen one other example of this Returno card back sell in like 5 or 6 years. I mean, it's just that rare. The Regresso, you can see that. You can find that sometimes. But the Returno is one that is not one that pops up very often. So this is the earlier example on the El Returno del Jedi card back. So that one sold for a lot of money. It sold for $2,600, which is a massive number, but it's pretty cool. It's got that early Returno example of the Yoda to go along with that. Likewise, here's R2-D2. This was a Regresso card back for R2-D2 along with the figure, and that one sold for $865. That to me is a pretty fair price. The figure is probably what, like a $175 to $250 figure, but that card back is what you're paying for there. And this price that Chris sold it for, I've seen just the card back alone sell for $865. So I thought that was a very fair price for whoever picked that one up. Next up was a loose graded Lily Letty. This is the Burgundy Cape Squid Head, a pretty famous variant. And this one was Collector Archive Services graded 75, but beautiful colors to the Burgundy Cape there. And that one sold for $555 shipped. And that one was claimed almost immediately as well. Next up was an AFA 85 Plus Sensor Scope R2-D2. That one was listed for $305 and sold almost immediately as well. It's not often you see an 85 Plus R2-D2 for that kind of price. That price is significantly below eBay prices, so I thought that was a very fair price. Next up is an AFA 85 mail-away 4-LOM, and this one was listed for $325. That one sold immediately as well. On eBay, I've seen AFA 85s go as high as $425, $450. So again, Chris is listing a lot of these below eBay prices, and they're selling very quickly as a result. Almost everything's being claimed as soon as they're listed. Next up was a UKG 85% loose graded Max Rebo band. And this price was significantly below eBay prices as well. Usually eBay prices, you're talking $650 to $750 for the entire Rebo band, but this one was listed for $475, and that one did sell very quickly as well. A few diecast did sell. I did pick one up, by the way. A CAS 85 Slave 1 diecast. I've already got this one in my collection, so I didn't bid on this one, but this one did sell for $325 shipped. And this is the very hard to find Thai bomber diecast. This one was graded CAS 80, but unfortunately, as you can see down here, the back of the acrylic case had cracked, so it kind of swung open. But still makes for a nice display piece, and Chris listed it for about the same price as a loose ungraded Thai bomber, $725 shipped, and that one did sell as well. I didn't list it, but he also had a CAS 80 loose graded die-cast Millennium Falcon, and I picked that one up for $250 shipped, so thank you, Chris. I look forward to getting that one. That's one I needed. I've got, I think, 6 or 7 now, either at CAS or this one's on the way, and I've got 3 or 4 here. But, I've got at least 3, I think, at CAS, and we're running on anywhere from 8 months to 14 months, and none of them have been graded yet. So it just takes so long that when I saw that Falcon pop up for $250, a CAS 80, I went ahead and grabbed it just because I didn't want to deal with any more wait times. CAS is way too long on those loose graded diecast. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit hoarse still. Next up, this was an interesting combination. This was a custom graded item. This was a 77 back A Biker Scout yellowed UKG 80, and then a loose graded speeder bike UKG 90 with the box displayed underneath it. So it was all in one big acrylic case. It was listed for $500 and sold almost immediately, but that's a really cool item. Congrats to Michael A. on that one. That was a good pickup. He's a Patreon supporter and a good buddy of mine, and I would wager that that is not the end of Michael's claims because he is spending willy-nilly. Congrats, Michael. That's a really awesome item, but something I had never seen before with the box displayed underneath the loose graded bike, speeder bike, along with a 77 back A UKG 80% mint on card. Next up, this was a beautiful example of the Canadian Imperial attack base. I forgot to pull up what it was listed for. I think it sold for about $400. But this is a pretty rare one, and the box on this one was in incredible condition. All unused contents, all the baggies were sealed. This is a perfect example of something you could send in to AFA, UKG, or CAS for qualified grading because none of the contents were used, all the sticker sheets were unused, and that box was just absolutely chef's kiss. It was in gorgeous condition. You can see base d'Attaque Impériale on that that French box there, a French Canadian box. So it's a beautiful example, and I think it sold for around $400 or $450. I don't remember. I forgot to pull it up. Next up was the Death Star playset. This was the Palatoy example, and I think he's still got one or two more. I think he's got the Meccano still to list, as well as the Australian Toll Toys example of this Death Star playset. This one did sell for $2,000, and the box was in amazing shape. All corners and flaps are present. One flap did have some tape holding it, and the plastic dome on top did have a crack, but it was 100% complete, according to Chris, and that box was in amazing condition. I mean, that was a beautiful example. And as a reference point, I found some Palatoy Death Star playsets that were qualified, graded, and high grade. Even like AFA 70s, they were going for over double, like $4,600 to $4,800 for this Death Star playset. And, I saw another one that sold for $11,000 on Hakes. So his price was very, very reasonable. But again, it was used contents. It was not like unused contents, but where are you going to find one of these? They just never come up for sale. And it was picked up very quickly. It included an acrylic case as well. So $2,000. Took that one home, but I know he's got some more of those. I think he got picked up 4 total. So just be on the lookout if you're looking for one of these to be listed on Rogue 5 Toys. Next up was a CAS 90 grade Palatoy mini rig. This is the INT4. This one was listed for $400 and sold immediately. I'm talking within 5 seconds. So I thought that was a really good price for a CAS 90 grade mint-in sealed box mini rig, the INT4 there. Here was a beautiful example of, I think this is the Canadian X-Wing fighter. So this is the original box art with the long play logo, but it's the Canadian example. Now, it did have used contents. It did have used stickers and everything, but it still had the cardboard insert inside. And wow, what an incredible item. That one sold for $425. I thought that was a bargain of a deal for the Canadian box art for a very, very tough to find item. And likewise, you got to take a look at this one. This was unused contents, the US release for the exact same item. This is the X-Wing fighter. And the box was in impeccable condition. It included a sliding acrylic case, but look how white this unused X-Wing is. This thing is bone white. I mean, it's unbelievable. What an incredible item. That's one view. Look how clean that is. That is incredible. And everything was unused. The stickers were unused. The laser cannons were still inside the sealed bag. So truly unused contents. Now, again, as a reference point, I looked at qualified graded examples. This one sold for $1,000, and this shows you how good the prices are on Rogue 5. Someone could turn around and get this qualified graded at CAS. It would probably get an 80, is my guess, at a minimum. A qualified 80 grade sold for over $2,600 on Hakes just last year. So he sold it for $1,000. I thought it was an absolute bargain of a price. And congratulations to Matt, a Patreon supporter and good buddy who picked this one up. This was probably the best pickup, in my opinion. And Chris had a very, very fair price on that for what it was. It was just an absolute gem. It was like a time capsule. It's like someone picked it off the shelf at Toys R Us and opened it and then listed it on Facebook. So it was just really cool to see some of these amazing items that sold. And I just want to thank everyone for watching these videos and commenting below. And thanks again, and I'll be back soon.